Thank you so much for joining us. We've dragged you out the dressing room where I imagine there's nice celebrations going on. Tell us how much of a relief, I suppose, that performance was, not just for you and the players, but for your fans as well.
Yeah, I think relief's the correct word. We were confident going into the game. We'd had a really good 3 days in terms of meetings, trainings, and the boys seemed in a good place, but you never know. And we really wanted to shift the momentum. Our form hasn't been great recently, so I think that's where the relief comes in.
I know you've done this before, but how much of a whirlwind has this last week been for you?
Yeah, I did it for a week before, so I kind of knew what I was stepping into. It was actually easier than the last time because I have a relationship with the players. I've worked with them for 3 or 4 months now. I'd been a part of the backroom staff, so I had a feel for where they were psychologically and what the performance needed and how to improve that. So it's been intense, but not as crazy as the last time, I think.
What were the main differences in the performance today? What do you think before you watch it back, just off the top of your head? Obviously, it's really fresh. What were the main? What was better? What was better in and out of possession today?
I think we wanted to be really, really clear with how we wanted to play and set up against Leeds. So we had some real principles that we went after. We knew that they were going to think we were vulnerable and they were going to come for us early in the game. So you see the first goal, we'd set up Pedro Neto to drop down and create space to run into. We wanted to give Rob the option to go direct and not always have to play through. Even the first goal kick we kicked because we knew we were in a bit of a vulnerable place. So we wanted to take that pressure away from them. And then in the second phase, when it drops and they're in more of a back five, we can start to take control of the game.
And was the idea to pin that? Because we spoke about that from a Leeds point of view, they had to change something at half-time because you were really pinning that 5 and you were dominating possession because you had the overload 7v5, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. So we knew that they were at their most dangerous when we had deep possession because they were going to come man for man. So we wanted to negate that by going longer, force them, create a bit of fear in them because we've got athletes in our top line. And then once they dropped, we got space to play. And I thought Enzo's positioning was brilliant where he was just pulling wider and pinning the right winger. So we had a spare man in the build and we took control of that and really pleased with how they carried it out.
Can I ask you about Enzo Fernandez? Because he was brilliant for you when you took the job last time. I thought he was outstanding today. Is it great having a leader like that in your team? He seems like he's one of them sort of players that can he takes what the manager wants and gets it on the pitch.
I think it's a really good point. He can definitely do what you want from a tactical perspective. But I think today the most impressive thing about him was when the tactics went out the window and Leeds got on top. He's just a fighter. He's just and we don't have to have the perfect game plan in those moments because he'll run, he'll compete, he'll tackle, he'll drive the players on. So I thought that was what was probably the deciding factor in the game.
Yeah, which is often what changes games. Games you can set up tactics as much as you like, and then sometimes it's when it gets scrappy. You need players like that. Can also ask you about Lavia today? 60 minutes in his legs. That's a positive sign for Chelsea.
Yeah, massive. He's been coming back slowly. He had a lot of injuries, obviously. I've known Romeo for a long time. I worked with him 5 years ago at Manchester City, so I know his level, I know his talent. We've also got Andre Santos, so it was a tough call. We've got Dario Asugo. We've got a lot of talent in those positions. Enzo can play there, but I'm really happy for Rom today because it's been tough for him, and I do think in that first half, him and Moy were exceptional.
Yeah, I found having somebody like Joao Pedro up top, he gave you lot so much, held the ball up really well when there were tricky passes coming into him. He occupied the 3 centre-halves for Leeds United in the first half especially, and then the 2 in the second half. That must be relieving, just to have somebody like that in your starting 11.
Well, you've played there, so you know how important it is, especially against teams like Leeds where they're going to come for you. And I felt like whenever they were aggressive, we had an outlet just to go in. And his quality on bouncing balls or half sets, I thought was exceptional. And he nearly scored a great goal as well, hit the post. So it was really good to have Joao back. But that being said, Liam's done a good job for us over the last 2 games, and it's nice to have 2 that you can rely on. And I just felt like with the way the game was going in the second half that I didn't want to make too many changes, and we stretched Joao for as long as we could.
Calum, you've got just under 3 weeks now until the final. You know Man City. You've actually, when you were originally at the beginning, what was it, in January, taking over, you were against Manchester City. You managed to get a draw out of that one as well. So can I almost say, like, you come with a plan? You kind of know Man City aren't this kind of entity that you don't think you can beat.
Yeah, you can come with a plan, but they're an unbelievable side. We'll always have a plan for every game we play. So will the opponents, and they're an exceptional side in really good form. So it's going to be a massive challenge, but I think there's something about this group that the bigger the game, the tougher the opponent and the circumstance, they seem to raise their level. We saw that against PSG in the Club World Cup. We've seen that numerous times this year. So we need to get the plan right, but also, like I said, that you can't always get that right against top teams. So it's more about the character as well.
Okay, Calum, we'll let you go. Congratulations. Well done. You're into the final of the FA Cup. Brilliant
mate.
performance from you and your team today as well. Well done. We're going to look ahead to that final now with our three pundits and let Calum go and enjoy that. I thought that was a really insightful interview, actually. I really enjoyed that, Joe.
Yeah, listen, like you said, it is meteoric. It is, there's no one way, there's no fixed way to get to the top in your profession, in any profession, particularly football. So you got to he's there, he's in the seat. He could be managing Chelsea in an FA Cup final. Yeah. Do you know how privileged that is and what a position that is? And he would have been dreaming of it for when he started his coaching career. And he's got a group of players. Listen, Manchester City, they are the big bad wolves at the moment. They are the team to beat. But he's right. Chelsea have turned up in big games. If anything, this group of players, when they get that little bit of fear in them, Stevie, they seem to they grow. Some players can do. Some groups of players can do it against everyone. Some groups of players need to get a bit of fear in their bones, and I think Manchester City will certainly do that. And you never know. You never know on a day. I think anything could happen.
The last time they actually beat Man City was in that 2021 Champions League final. They played each other 13 times since, and they haven't managed to beat Manchester City in those games. Stevie?
Yeah, well, listen, not many teams have success against Manchester City, especially under Pep Guardiola, but Joe will tell you, and Jermaine, in the FA Cup final, the magic of the FA Cup, anything can happen. You can get a red card, games can twist and turn. But this team and this performance that I watched today has got a much better chance than the one I've watched for the majority of the season. And I was really impressed with his interview there. Calum was really calm, really normal, and it's important he's just himself.
Yeah.
Be yourself, don't change. He doesn't have to go and try and be someone else that he's not. Just be yourself, take each day as it comes. He's gave the Chelsea fans and the ex-players something to really look forward to in a few weeks. There's a lot more positivity, a lot more brightness about how the season could finish and look. Just worry about the next game.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Chelsea are FA Cup finalists after a difficult few weeks. How does it feel to reach the final?
I think it's amazing. I think the boys reacted exactly the way they should have. We had tried to keep it really positive for training. And obviously it was another chance to be in another final. So that's what we've been working for. And the boys perform and it's amazing.
You made some important saves in the game as well. After a bit of a challenging season, up and down all year, how did it feel for you to play such a big part in an important game like this?
I'm happy. I always try to do my job, Like you said, we go through ups and downs. I think I'm very happy with the season I had. But obviously now the important thing is try to finish on a high. 4 Premier League games to go and obviously the final, so try to do our best.
You were involved in the build-up to the goal as well. Chelsea's first goal in 300 minutes. That must have been a relief to see that go in.
That comes straight from the training ground. We practice it, we did it, and obviously the boys jam, they fight for the second balls and they created the goal, so perfect.
Listen to these fans here at Wembley as well today. There will be a lot of Chelsea fans wondering where a performance like that has been recently. Did you feel like you owed that to them today?
I think so. I think they deserve, obviously it's a winning team, they deserve moments like this. I don't think this season will have many, so it's good to give them a little bit back after a tough period.
Tough few days as well, losing your former manager Liam Rosenior, Calum McFarlane back in interim charge. What's he done in the last few days?
Like I said, keep it positive, focusing on the next games. We had 6 games to go. That's what we keep saying. We're going to win today and go to the final, 4 Premier League games. Keeping it positive, and obviously it's on us to try to qualify for Champions League and to try to win the final. So, yeah.
And in that final, it's Manchester City, who Chelsea haven't beaten since the 2021 Champions League final. So what would it mean to all of you, all the players around here, everyone at the club, to beat them and lift silverware?
It would mean something great after what I said, a tough season. So we're going to go there, fight and put everything on the pitch. Yeah.
Well played today. Thank you.
To Wembley Stadium, where Chelsea have just booked their place into the FA Cup final, where Manchester City will be their opponents in just under 3 weeks' time. Enzo Fernandez with the only goal in that game. And Chelsea fans finally have something to celebrate. Bad day for Leeds, though. They are obviously out. But look, we'll discuss their season with Jermaine Beckford in a few moments' time. We've also got Joe Cole and Stephen Gerrard have rejoined us. Stephen, from your perspective in the comments box, what did you make of that as a whole?
I thought Chelsea were much improved to a man. People will talk about the goal, the winning goal. and you get the headlines for that. But I think across the board, the structure of the team was better. There's a lot more fight, a lot more passion within that. I thought Calum's got his game plan spot on. Leeds, I think, will go away from this game full of regret, really, that they never really got going till the second half. And they had one good chance either side of the half, but it's not enough in a semi-final if you want to knock Chelsea out of this cup.
Calum now, that's his third game in charge across 2 spells as interim manager. And we were talking just before we had to go to the break and before the interview with Sanchez, with Robert Sanchez. The players pushed him in front of the fans to celebrate with them. And it just seemed to be a bit of unity in a team that had perhaps been struggling for a while.
Yeah, because sometimes when you go through a difficult period, something like that can bring you together. I mean, Calum's clearly popular with the players. I mean, it's a meteoric rise. He's gone from semi-professional football, academy football. Now he's manager in Chelsea at Wembley, taking them to an FA Cup final. What I would say is the team, in all of his games in charge, have looked really structured. They're playing for him. He's clearly got a rapport with the players. But what I would say about managers, and Stevie knows a lot better than me, is you can sometimes watch a player for 1 or 2 games and you can go, I like him. I think managers, you have to let him go for like a couple of years before you see what they're true worth. But he's had an impact and he should be really proud of his day's work.
Do you think Chelsea fans would be frustrated that they've been waiting for a good performance like this for a while, or just pleased that they got to the final? They can be both, I suppose.
I was literally just about to say, they will be both. They'll be disappointed and frustrated that it's taken for Chelsea to be at the FA Cup semi-final at Wembley Stadium to see a performance that the fans should be used to seeing. You know, the last 5 games, for example, have been terrible from Chelsea's, from the standards Chelsea have set over the last, I don't even know how many decades. The fans will watch that and say, well, why on earth have we not been doing that over the last few months?
Yeah.
Disappointed.
Stephen, let's go and relive the goal. Sanchez just said, look, this was a move that we've been practicing on the training ground.
Yeah, well, I mean, I can't really see clear the screen. If you can bring it a little bit closer,
it'll be the Leeds press.
It'll be helpful. But listen, it was the first time that Leeds left a 3v3 at the back. The wing-backs had pushed on. They were more aggressive at this stage. Pastoral Struik's not strong enough. He gets out-muscled by Pedro Neto. But this cross here, Coley will tell you, is absolutely gorgeous. It's got nice feel on it, nice shape, and it's perfect for Fernandes, who's arriving in the box. And as a midfielder, that's what you've got to do. You've got to attack the goal frame. If you watch his movements here, it's really, really clever. There's the pass that breaks the line. And Neto just has a little look up. There's the feel. Double movements. You head it down. The keeper's got no chance. It's a really good goal. Really good goal.
Elite level movement from a midfielder. You get great midfielders who can arrive and score goals, but strikers, that's what you teach them. He sort of sucked Justin into the near post, and the moment Justin is off his gaze, he's off his shoulder, going to that back post, and it's a wonderful ball. And listen, Enzo, like I said, wherever you talk about him, things he says and everything, when he's on the pitch, he does it, and you want him next to you. It was
a real good midfield performance today.
Jermaine, what about the chances that Leeds had? Will they look back on those and be disappointed that they didn't put some of those away? There are a couple of good ones. Yeah,
there were a couple. Not as many as we're used to seeing from a Leeds United team. Especially the very first one. In the first couple of minutes, you have to look at Brendan Aronson. I said that at half-time. When you're closing the goalkeeper down, he almost commits nice and early. So he leaves a little bit of a gap on his left-hand side. That's a lovely, beautiful strike at the beginning of the second half. You have to have a quick glance up, see where the goalkeeper's going. You know where the ball is. You have to keep it, get a nice clean strike on it. That one there, Dominic Calvert-Lewin was absolutely unlucky. Like similar cross in the first half. Neto, great cross. Just need a little bit more direction.
Ali was going crazy up there as well. It's funny you should say that. Ali's getting all dramatic up there. Head it back towards that post, centre forwards. I mean, that's the service you dream of, is it not?
Absolutely, but I'll be honest, I'm not heading it. I'm going for an overhead kick.
Show off. Look, I think we kind of saw as well today what João Pedro brings when he's in the team and how much they've missed him when he's been out of it.
Yeah, that Brazilian favela street football flair. Like, he plays with a freedom. I loved him today. He was dropping off in the pockets. He'd done his centre forward job. He held up the play, and then when he got into these positions, he was picking the right passes. They didn't know whether to go with him when he went into the pockets. He's got that. He could have scored there. He could have gone. He could have run in behind. He was such a problem for Leeds. And when he's on song, you see the influence. He's been out the team, and we've looked a little bit off it. When he's back in the team, we're just so much more balanced, Stevie.
He was a great focal point today. Lovely mover with the ball. I mean, can you remember the one second half where Cucurella's wrapped one in?
Oh my God.
And you're thinking as a centre forward, thanks for that. Yeah. It's coming in neck height, and his first touch, it was like Velcro. It was absolutely beautiful. But yeah, I mean, I think Chelsea look a different team with him in. And yeah, I thought he made a big difference today.
What about for Leeds' now season? Because in terms of like in the Premier League, they're not 100% safe. They have got to those 40-point marks, and that's kind of relatively mathematically. It's not, but you know, we kind of look at that and we go, look, they're safe pretty much. How do you kind of sum it up as a whole for Daniel Farke and how successful it's been for him?
Look, everybody would be disappointed with today's result. It was a great opportunity to get the win against the side that's slightly disjointed. I mentioned that earlier. But as a whole, reaching the 40-point mark with a few games left to go, the teams below Leeds United are not going to beat them they're not going to win 3 out of the 4 games to push Leeds in the relegation zone without Leeds picking up a single point. So I would like to argue Leeds United are safe. It's been a very good season, all things considered. Disappointed today. Daniel Farke will be disappointed with the performance of the first half, especially. Stevie mentioned that before. But it's a newly promoted side reaching the FA Cup semi-final and safe in the Premier League. I mean, it's a win-win.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, look, after the break, we're going to hear from both managers.